So, what fantasy players could really be breakouts this year? Who do we think will be the fantasy player this year? Um, which teams do we have going into the playoffs? And what two teams will be headlining Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California? Well, we're going to find the answers to those questions and a lot more as we get closer and closer to the start of the 2025 NFL season. And we got a special Tuesday night edition of Fantasy Football Fever starting right about now. Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Welcome to a special Tuesday night edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Actually, we're going to be on the air every Tuesday night from now until pretty much almost the end of the regular season, or at least until the Thursday night football games are exhausted. But anyway, however, wherever and whenever you're watching, thanks for making this part of your week. Of course, I am Timothy McClellan, America's favorite armchair football fan. And with me, as always, my two cohorts, my two buddies, the two guys who I cannot do this show without. First, once again, walking the streets of the Empire State, the host of the Hooked on Sports podcast, Mr. John Flynn. And
Howdy,
we
Tim.
also, hey, how you doing, John?
I'm doing great.
Hey, how's the weather out there right now?
Yeah, it is so delightful. It is like 70 degrees, light breeze. It feels very comfortable.
I wish it was that for the last few weeks. Cause I mean, I hate the month of August, especially down here in Texas when the weather gets up to like triple digits, and when you put in the heat index, it feels a lot worse. But anyway, I wish we'd have those 70-degree days here in the summer part. Well, anyway, of course, also joining us is our league commissioner, and of course, I should say, our defending league champion, Mr. John Natale.
Yeah, we're 3 days away. It's really coming fast.
Yeah, 3 days away from the league draft, and we don't want you to forget that. It's the fantasy draft special, which will be starting at 9:15 p.m. Eastern, 8:15 p.m. Central, and of course the draft starts 15 minutes afterwards. It's this Friday, so hopefully you people definitely don't want to miss that. Well, I should tell you people, ever since we convened here last Friday night, there has been a ton of things going on around in the league, but I think the biggest thing of all that has happened just happened earlier this morning. As many of you may now already know, America's musical sweetheart, Taylor Swift, and the Kansas City Chiefs All Pro tight end Travis Kelsey are now officially engaged. Um, what a beautiful love story this is. Now, I personally am not a Swiftie, but I do admire her work. I do admire her charisma, and she is very appealing to the eyes. I will say that. So, I want to get your reactions for this. So they are official. They're going to tie the knot. Flynn, uh, social media, and all this stuff has just been exploding ever since this morning.
I mean, it's been such a wild ride the last couple of years for the people that follow the personal lives of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. So that I had a feeling about a couple months in to when they revealed the relationship that they were going to get engaged. I didn't think it was going to be this long. Yeah, to be honest, I thought they would get engaged after they won the Super Bowl in overtime against the 49ers. But but man, but it's been a long time coming, and I think people finally began to see it once the podcast with Jason Kelsey and Travis dropped, and they could really tell if you looked at the video that and how much in love they were with each other, and really how down to earth Taylor is.
Yeah.
Trying to slice her left and right, but she really is down to earth, and of course, so her music resonates with so many people, and I couldn't and I was actually wondering when the baseball schedule came out. So like, it's that I didn't find out about this until I was looking at my Instagram stories, seeing that, and like the baseball schedule for next year and the engagement announcement both dropped at the same time. I mean, talk about you could not have timed it any worse for the baseball schedule, but because everyone was talking about Taylor and Travis and the cultural phenomenon she is, and Travis Kelsey when he retires, and look, it could be this year if the story unfolds like this, because Taylor really wants a fall wedding, so this is about as big an engagement announcement as we've heard in a long time, and I think some of the engagement announcements that have topped this in recent years have been maybe Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and maybe back when you were little, Tim, the engagement announcement of Prince Charles and Lady Diana.
Yes, Diana, God rest her soul.
I mean, and like their marriage, their royal wedding was watched by over 750 million people. That's how intense the media coverage was then, and you'll have to think that this is about as close to a royal wedding as as America will experience when it comes, and I also just love how I said that the caption is that your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. Wow, that is an unbelievable caption.
Unbelievable. And of course, another famous wedding from back in my childhood, even though I was not a fan. But of course, it made headlines on television. It was the wedding of Luke and Laura on the daytime show General Hospital. That was a huge thing back then
Yeah, yeah,
for all of you soap opera fans out there. But anyway,
yeah.
wow. Natalia, anything to add to that?
Not too much. I'm not really a fan of Taylor Swift. Like I admire her. Yeah, she's a great artist. Yeah. I like the old Taylor Swift stuff a little bit better if I had to pick. But but yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
happy for them.
Natalie. Come on, you haven't listened to the new stuff?
I'm not a country music person.
Oh, come on
Well,
now.
she's actually not really country. She's kind of country and pop, I guess, a
Yeah,
combination of both.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor started as country, but then of course she evolved into a pop star, and of course totally rebranded herself eight years ago, and all the people that these celebrities that she's dated in the past, and now
Yeah.
And now, who would you think a tight end out of the University of in Cincinnati, who was, I think, a fourth round draft pick in 2013, is now engaged to one of the most famous people, if not the most famous person in the world that does not have any administrative power.
All right. Yeah. So okay, okay. This has got me thinking something right now. This just this just came off the top of my head. Uh, the years of their marriage. I'm going to set the over under at 6.5. 6.5 years.
Oh, you talking about for how long it will
I
last? Is that what you're saying?
honestly,
What were you saying, Flynn?
I mean, I honestly think this is going to be a forever thing. I think she's out of the dating, out of the singles pool forever.
Oh, so so in other words, Flynn's going to take the over.
You know,
Wait,
I think
is there
I
really
think I might take the over.
is there really an over under for this? So
yeah, why
is it
not?
is like I mean, like
I'll play.
where's it posted? Where's it
Well,
posted?
I don't know. It just came off the top of my head because you know
Yeah, I'll play
all
this
these
game. I'll take the under.
all
It's,
oh taking the under.
take one of you take a look and see if there's actually an over under here because like there are people that placed bets on whether they were going to get engaged or not, and they paid off,
Right.
and those who betted for engagement paid it off. So like take a look and see, is there any like prop bets for over under here?
Let's see here.
Because now that you mentioned it,
Okay. Uh, well, according to the AI overview, there is no standard over/under betting lines for the years that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey will be married. So, but
yeah,
this is just something I just made off the top of my head. So there's
yeah.
no real official betting lines on this thing. But anyway, I do wish them years and years of happiness. So I guess we'll see how that works out here. I don't know if they've set an official date yet, but it might have to come probably after the season is over, maybe.
It's
Uh,
yeah. I feel like it's gonna be next fall when and Taylor's will be. It'll either be like during if Travis still does play, it will probably be during the Chiefs bye week, whenever that is.
right.
So
Well, anyway, congratulations to Taylor and to Travis. And also, we want to send some congratulations to Trey Hendrickson. He and the Cincinnati Bengals agreed to a $14 million raise, so that makes him eligible to earn $30 million this coming season. So at least I got that worked out a little bit. So he's going to be sticking around with them for a little while longer.
I mean, it's like a solution that I kind of like understand why the Bengals have budged at Hendrickson's asking price, because Hendrickson is getting there in age. This will be his ninth year in the NFL, his sixth with Cincinnati, and I can understand why, but I guess it's a solution that is not an easy solution, but the bottom line is you have to get Hendrickson get that distraction out of the way and get them ready for a Week 1 matchup against the Cleveland Browns.
Definitely. So, yeah, that big Cincinnati Cleveland game and week one, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Also, we have another signing here. Looks like Terry McLaurin has ended his hold in as he and the Commanders agreed to a 3-year, $96 million contract extension. So looks like Jaden Daniels has probably one of his favorite targets back in line and hopefully ready for their opening matchup against the New York Giants.
Oh,
Yeah. I personally think that's a great deal for McLaurin because I'm with what I'm assuming is going to happen. We'll have to see the official details of it, but it looks like this new extension is going to kick in starting next year when he'll be 31 years old. So he turns 30 in less than 3 weeks. So getting 32 mil for a year for a wide receiver over the age or in his age 31 to 33 seasons. That's a great deal for him, and really Washington had no choice but to pay him because he is the second most essential player to the success of the Commanders for who they are. So that's definitely something that the Commanders can keep the eye on, but. So we'll have to see how it translates into 2025 success for Washington. But I feel like Washington was afforded the opportunity to hammer out this extension because they have a rookie they have a star quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, we had another signing. Amari Cooper, he just signed a 1-year deal with the team that originally drafted him, the Raiders. So
yeah,
I don't
decent.
know.
Yeah, not a bad signing. Basically, a veteran piece, build up the depth.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is an insurance policy after Jacoby Myers requested a trade.
Well, that could be a possibility. I hadn't even thought about that until you mentioned it.
I
Jacoby
mean, I
Myers
mean, I,
requested a trade.
and if Jacoby Myers does get traded, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded to the Patriots.
Patriots, maybe. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess that makes a little sense here. Speaking of trades, the Minnesota Vikings have traded their quarterback Sam Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they signed former Eagle Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised it took the Vikings this long to appropriately address the backup quarterback situation because remember, JJ McCarthy is coming off a year where he didn't play because of injury.
Right.
So, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. Also, this past week, that was Minnesota. Here do we have? Oh, speaking of going back to Las Vegas, quarterback Aiden O'Donnell broke his wrist in the last preseason game they had against the Arizona Cardinals. They say he will be out from about 6 to 8 weeks, and for a little bit of insurance, they inquired Kenny Pickett from the Cleveland Browns.
Browns doing Browns things.
Oh, that's not the half of it. Well, for one thing, looks like the Browns they released their wide receiver Deontay Johnson.
I mean, it doesn't really thread the needle anymore in fantasy, though.
No, and there was another. They released another quarterback. Cleveland did. I can't remember the name.
Oh, I'm
So they
Tyler
did
Huntley.
Tyler Huntley. Yeah,
So I
Cleveland
remember,
released Tyler Huntley. So,
remember they brought Huntley in for a couple of weeks because the whole quarterback room was banged up due to injury.
so now they're back down to a normal three, but is anything really normal in Cleveland? I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
you got Joe Flacco now, They named Dylan Gabriel the second string, and then they got Shador Sanders as quarterback
Yeah.
three. So
Yeah. I mean, so this could be an interesting fantasy question for us to answer. Who is going to start more games for the Cleveland Browns this year? Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, or Joe Flacco?
Had the most games.
Who will make
who's
the
going
most
to start,
starts among those
make the
three?
most start among those three?
I'm just gonna stick with Flacco because the Browns like to do Browns things. I'm just gonna stick with
Yeah,
Flacco.
makes sense to me. I mean, they're
Mm.
pretty much. Uh, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but anyway. Oh, looks like there's trouble in Houston. Running back Joe Mixon is going to have to start on the IR. He's out for the first 4 games.
Eek.
So that means that they may have to rely on Nick Chubb, but I'm not holding my breath on that because, of course, as I mentioned many times on this show, Nick Chubb has had a history of injuries.
Yeah,
So
and he's gonna have to run behind one of the worst offensive lines in football. I mean, I can, and Joe Mixon's. I think it's going to be more than 4 weeks for Joe Mixon. So this could be a lingering issue for him. So I think so. So how should we really evaluate where Nick Chubb should go in drafts with this news breaking and all the indications have been for the entire throughout the entire preseason that Nick Chubb is going to be the week 1 starting money back.
Hmm.
yeah,
So that in a 12-team league, what round would you take him?
12
Like does he go in round 6, round 7?
Hmm.
But I know somebody's. I feel like people are going to be desperate for a running back because I think they're gonna go lots of receivers and tight ends in PPR to back up the PPR scoring, only to forget about the running back room.
Right.
And then the name Nick Chubb comes up, and no one have a familiar face in fantasy land.
Uh-huh.
right. So we'll just see
Um,
what happens there.
yep.
Some good news from. We actually have some good news coming out of Big D. The Cowboys have activated Trayvon Diggs off of the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, and he is possible to start Week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles next Thursday night.
Hmm.
Which I
Yeah.
think that is huge news because of the ongoing saga of the young and the senseless. That thing is still going on. And this past Friday, Cowboys game against the Falcons, Parsons was seen laying on a table, and people are already wanting to jump to conclusions about this. Maybe he was just relaxing. Some people say maybe he's doing this in protest because he's not getting a deal done. I don't know what to make of it. What do you guys say?
I don't really see it as nothing. A lot of players do like silly things. You see players sometimes they ride exercise bikes. You see them taking a snooze on the sidelines, stuff like that.
Yeah, right. I was gonna go ahead and save this comment for Friday when we do our draft, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. If there's not a deal done between now and this coming Sunday, I think he'll sit out. I mean, he requested a trade at the beginning of this month, and of course, Jackass Jerry, he's just so defiant, saying that he's not going to trade his best defensive player.
Right.
So I think he might. There's a possibility he might sit out the season until he gets a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, also remember the Chris Jones situation a couple of years ago. I guess it's after Chris Jones. I said when they won the first of their two back-to-back Super Bowls. Remember, he held out for all of training camp, and then the Chiefs played a rising Lions team week one, and the Lions beat the Chiefs in the last minutes of the game. So, and immediately afterwards, the Chiefs and Chris Jones agreed to a contract extension because they knew that they realized they needed him if they were going to go back to back.
Right. So, but at least some good news in Dallas because Trayvon Diggs is coming off of the PUP list. So Shoddy says that he'll probably be ready for Week 1 next Thursday night, and that is good news here. Meanwhile, uh, trouble in San Francisco. No, it's not an injury. There is a suspension. Their wide receiver, Demarcus Robinson, has been suspended 3 games without pay for violating the league's substance abuse policy.
Oof.
So, I need to find a little video thing to put on our little thing here where Stephen A. Smith says, "Stay off of the weed." But I didn't get any details if it was weed or if it was alcohol or prescription drugs or anything. But he'll of course will miss the first 3 games. He'll be back in Week 4. But like I said, I'm not having my hopes too high on San Francisco this year. So
Yeah. But I was really thinking about this, and I didn't realize it until I was watching the First Things First show on FS1 today that said that that other than Rashawn Slater, that there is like very little star power that's out for the season. So like the only season-ending, significant season-ending injury from this training camp preseason, a part of the year, was Rashawn Slater with the Chargers. Other than that, every notable NFL star is healthy.
Oh.
So that is some good news.
okay. We have a question here. It looks like somebody has already had their league draft. So
Yes.
he's asking.
Pull it up, Tim.
We got it right here from Adam A123. He has a 10-man full PPR league. He's got Joe Burrow, Bucky Irving, Jamar Chase. Is that Brown? Is that
Chase Brown, the run.
Chase
Yeah,
Brown?
so it's an all-in stack: Burrow, Chase, and Brown. Because like I think the three of them combined for nearly 1,000 points in fantasy last year. The three of them.
Looks like he's also got Rasheed Rice, but of course we don't know exactly when he's going to get suspended. He's still got that thing coming up later this year. He's got Tyler Warren, then he's got Egbuka, one of the top rookie prospects this year. He's got Jalen Waddle. He's got I think that's supposed to be DJ Moore and Tyrone Tracy. Also, he's got Charbonnet if K9 gets hurt. Any
Yeah.
tips or suggestions? Purdy, he's got Brock Purdy and Zach Ertz on the bench. So I guess basically
Mhm.
he's wanting our opinions on what he's got right there.
Yeah, is he giving me is he giving me a sense of hope that Chase Brown makes it to will stay on the board in round 3 of a 10-man draft? Is he giving me that a false sense of hope?
Oh. Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid lineup. I would say,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you definitely want Chase Brown and Kenneth Walker as your running backs. That's a good start there. Mm.
And we made an example of because from the tallies lessons from last week about a rookie like Emeka Ibuka and Tyler Warren for that matter.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are some very
Yes,
solid rookies. I think they're going to do very well.
yeah. I mean, I feel like Tyler Warren is going to finish higher than his current average draft position.
So he's got Joe Burrow, he's got Jamar Chase, and he's got Chase Brown. I'm surprised he didn't get T. Higgins, so that'd be a Who Day team there.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but really, it wouldn't have made sense though because since they're all on the same team, they're all on buying at the same time.
right.
Yeah,
So
so it would not have made sense to draft all four, but but
right.
but but the QB, running back, and receiver, I totally understand.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is a very good question, Adam. Thank you for your question, and thanks for watching. Spread the word around. Spread the word to your friends about this show. So thank you once again. So we got our first fantasy related question before the season even starts because there's a lot of teams that are having their draft right now. Uh, there'll be some drafting in the next few weeks, and of course, our draft is this Friday night. So,
Yeah, I have four drafts in 6 days coming starting tomorrow.
Ooh.
So
oh boy,
it's because I have one tomorrow, then
Hmm.
this then our league on Friday, another league on Saturday, and then another one on Monday, on Labor Day Monday. So which is kind of like at the time where I wanted to do all of my drafts. It's the week after preseason ends and the start of the NFL season.
yeah. Well, well, so far I'm only in two leagues. Of course, I'm in our league, and of course, I have a league on Yahoo.com or Yahoo Sports. So I have that league, and we'll have our draft for that this coming Sunday. So,
Yeah.
and I think I'm going. I think tomorrow I'll participate in maybe one or two mock drafts to kind of get ready for Friday
Yeah.
and Sunday. So,
Yeah. I mean, and the advantage that people in our league have is that we know our draft positions based upon the standings from last year. So,
Hmm.
right.
so what are you drafting? Is Tim drafting fifth in our league? Because I know I'm
I
drafting
believe
seventh.
Yeah, I believe he's fifth.
I believe so. I think I am fifth, but I am going to double check.
Could be fourth, but I
Yeah,
believe it's fifth.
yeah, but I mean, I thought you barely made the playoffs last year, and then you got bounced in the first round.
I bounced. Yep.
Yeah, but all right, but I think we're ready to get into the meat of our show. Are you ready to officially mark the tape on the 2025 NFL season?
Let's do it.
I believe so. So, yeah, we were going to present our picks for the teams that are going to make the playoffs, the four division winners for each conference, as well as the three wild card teams. Um, and we'll see which two teams will head on over to play the big Super Bowl at Levi Stadium. So, so where do we want to start?
I mean, I sent you the list, Tim. So you want to go in the order of the list?
Yeah, I think we can go with that. I got it right here. So, okay, predictions for the AFC East division. Uh, I personally don't really see that much of a change, even though I do believe that New England is going to have a better year than some people will say. Uh, I actually believe And I know Alex is going to be very upset with me, but I've actually got the Dolphins finishing dead last. I'm actually saying the Jets is going to have a better season than the Dolphins. But at the top of the list for the AFC Eastern Division, finishing in my opinion with a record of 14-3, I got those Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Natalie. So who do you have winning the AFC East?
Yeah, this one I didn't really have to think about at all. It's probably one of the easiest ones to decide. But yeah, the Bills are the clear favorite, so I definitely have them. The Patriots look a little bit better, but nowhere near as good as the Bills. And then the Jets and the Dolphins are definitely going to have down years. So yeah, I have the Bills winning this one very easily.
Yeah, we'll have to wonder if they'll have the division locked up. However they do that, but really, this is all the season will be to consider the success if the Bills go to the Super Bowl. But I've got the Bills waltzing to their sixth straight AFC East crown.
All right, so we're all unanimous with Buffalo there. Heading to the AFC North. Um, well, they've pretty much been in control of the NFC North for the last few years, and I really don't see anything different. Uh, I actually see. Well, actually, first I want to say I have Buffalo as the AFC East division, and I've got, and believe it or not, I've got Buffalo as my number one seed in the AFC because my number two seed is going to be the champions of the AFC North, which of course is the Baltimore Ravens. But don't be surprised if the Steelers give them a run for their money. Of course, they got Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be in a new system. I think Pittsburgh's going to do very well. Cincinnati going to get down a little bit, and Cleveland. Well, Cleveland's Cleveland. So my pick to win the North is the Ravens.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one was another easy one to decide too. Yeah, one and four were actually super easy. Yeah, two and three was actually pretty tough. And I initially made a pick on 2 and 3, but then I flipped it. I originally had Steelers and Bengals as my 2 and 3, but I since reversed it. So I now have I think the Bengals are going to improve a little bit.
Ooh.
And the Steelers are going to be right in the middle of the pack. I mean, the Browns, obviously, forget it. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst, which puts I have the Ravens winning this division easily. And not only that, they're my number one seed.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love Baltimore. I mean, John Harbaugh is superb. It'll be his 18th year coaching the Baltimore Ravens. It's an incredible continuity there. Lamar Jackson is superb. Love the improvements they made on the offensive line. I love love what they did with the defense in the draft. This is as deep a roster 1 to 53 as complete a roster 1 to 53 as there is in the NFL. I got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry ready to rock and roll. Give me the Ravens to roll to their third successive AFC North crown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we're all unanimous in that one. So let's go down to the AFC South. And this, once again, was kind of a no brainer for me because they've had some good success over the last few years. My pick for the number one spot, the winners of the AFC South, once again, the Houston Texans. Italic.
Yeah, this one didn't seem as easy as I initially put because, yeah, with the injury to Joe Mixon, that kind of changes things a little bit. CJ Stroud's been having a down year. I mean, the Titans had a good draft. Jaguars, we'll see how they do with Travis Hunter. I mean, the Colts have the most random quarterback room. I don't think they're going to do particularly well with Daniel Jones. I don't think this is going to be easy, but I do have the Texans winning this division. But it's going to be a very obscure record. They're going to win the division probably with a record of 9-8. I think that's how bad this division is overall. And the other guy, we'll
Yeah,
probably have like a 9-8, and then 8-7, and then another maybe 8-7, and then like a 6-10, like that type of thing for this division. So I do have the Texans winning this division, but barely.
yeah. D'Amico Ryans is a gem. I think Nick Haley is a massive upgrade at offensive coordinator over Bobby Slowick. Slowick did not really provide much in terms of value. His play calling was cited as a reason why. So, which is why the Texans did not perform the way they wanted to, especially last year. So I think so I like him. So I'm not gonna lie, and I think the defense is excellent as well. I'm not gonna lie to you though. The offensive line scares the living hell out of me, especially after trading with the trade of Larry Tunsil to Washington. It's yeah, and I think that kind of leads a big hole in there. The Joe Mixon injury obviously plays a big role in this as well. The running back room is much weaker now than it normally once would be. But so I still think the Texans are going to win, but I feel like there's pressure there to win a playoff game again. Because after making it to the division round the last 2 years and getting ran out of the buildings in Kansas City and Baltimore respectively, so I got the Texans winning the South. And
Okay,
then lastly, who is going to be the champion of the AFC West, Tim?
I got a feeling that this is going to be very interesting to hear your guys' opinions on this, but I have got it'll probably come down to maybe the final couple of weeks of the season. I see this may be a nip and tuck race, but I am going to say by one game, the division winner will finish with a record of 12-5, while the second place team will finish with a record of 11-6. I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs as the AFC West champions, but like I said, Denver is going to make them work for it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins the division. But right now, my pick is Kansas City to win the West. But keep an eye out on Denver.
Yeah, I have that same rational feeling. I was torn between those two teams. Yeah, the Broncos look a lot better. They finished I think last season as the number one defense, and yeah, they've had a pretty nice offseason too, and yeah, they look actually really good. I'll just say it right now. I do have the Broncos as my first wild card team, which makes the Chiefs division winners here.
Uh-huh.
I was going back and forth on this especially over the last 24 hours. And it was like so tough, but I'm reluctantly picking Kansas City to win the AFC West. I,
I
which
guess you
which
got
which
kind of
which which,
guess you
which,
kind of
which
got the
is
same feeling that you think Denver's going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah, but I think the difference between the Chiefs and the Broncos is what the Chiefs did in the draft, and I think that their first round pick, Josh Simmons, I believe the Chiefs found their next franchise left tackle in the draft, and Josh Simmons was receiving rave reviews in training camp. The O line was the big issue for the Chiefs going into the draft, but the coaching is elite. Reed, Mahomes, Spags. I think Travis Kelsey is primed for a bounce back season. Remember, Travis Kelsey has not performed to his projections and expectations over the last 2 years. I believe that's going to change this year. And then you have an available Rasheed Rice. You have Xavier Worthy in year two, and of course a Spags defense as well. So and Kansas City winning the division did not enter my mind until the last 24 hours. But I'm picking the Chiefs to win the AFC West. All
Mhm.
right, so who is your? I mean, Natalia already revealed his first wild card of the Broncos. Who is your first wild card for in the AFC, Tim?
My first wild card finishing with a record of 11-6. I also have the Denver Broncos.
Oh.
I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are actually in my number 3 seed. I've got Denver as my number 5. And we said Natalia got his number 5 seed as the Broncos as well. So Flynn, what do you have as number 5?
I've got the Broncos too. I believe that Kansas City and Denver were two of the teams I had in my top tier of teams as teams I feel pretty good about making the playoffs. Because I mean, I think Denver is the best threat to Kansas City because of what Sean Payton does and Boniek's going into a second year. The O line's superb. The defense I think could be one of the best in the league. So, but I think but I think that the close games between the Broncos and the Chiefs, I think Kansas City is going to win both of those games, by a hair to do that. But I do think that, assuming Denver gets in, they're going to be a team that nobody's going to want to face in the postseason.
Right.
All right,
Rid of that.
so who is your second wild card in the AFC?
My second wild card, the number 6 seed. I believe they'll finish with a record of 10-7. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, Natalia, who is your second wild card?
Yeah, this one was really tough. I was torn between the Steelers and the Bengals. Remember, as I said before, I initially put the Steelers in second place, then I flipped it. I have the Bengals. I actually have a little bit more faith in the Bengals this time around. After missing the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, with, in my opinion, Zach Taylor is one of the coaches that are on the hot seat this season. And I think Joe Burrow's going to get his act together. Him, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. I think they're finally going to get off that hump and get in there as a 6th seed.
All right, Flynn, what say you, sir?
Yeah, Tim, I'm sharing the brain with you. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers as my second wild card. And I think the thing we kind of forget about this is that coaching matters so much. And Tomlin's a gem. The defense under Terrell Austin is superb. I think the improvements in the run game and the offensive line, I think that they're going to play a big role in the Steelers' success. And I think going from Russ from Russ and Justin Fields to Rodgers. Remember, Rodgers played very well down the stretch of the season last year, and he looked more like himself. So just now he's got two years removed from the Achilles injury. I can't stress enough how much I love the Pittsburgh Steelers to make the playoffs this year.
All
All right
right,
then.
so now we got
So
to talk about
the third and final wild card team in the AFC.
Mhm.
third
Who do you got?
wild card. Finishing with a record of 10-7, but I have the Steelers finishing ahead in a tiebreaker. So finishing 10-7, locking up the final wild card spot in the AFC. I've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that makes some noise because that AFC West Division is going to be very, very entertaining this year.
Mm.
So, Glenn, I mean, Natalie, what say you?
Yeah, this one's going to. This is one of those sounds so crazy it might happen. It feels like one of those sound the alarm picks. This team has actually improved quite a bit. honestly wouldn't be surprised if this happens. Finishing in second place in this division and securing the seventh seed, in my view. Call me crazy. Sound the alarm. I have the Patriots.
I'm not gonna frown on that. That it is a high possibility. I mean, it could happen. I could probably see the Patriots sneaking in there. Flynn, what do you say?
Yeah. I mean, this was a tough one because there are a couple of really tough exclusions, but I've also had the Patriots making the playoffs. I think the amount I think the upgrades they've made, coaching, a quarterback, play caller, defense, edge rushers. Will Campbell, the tackle from LSU, that they drafted him fourth overall, and he was superb this preseason. I just think that the difference from Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel is night and day. And Robert Kraft didn't and knew that, and he knew that an upgrade was needed immediately for the New England Patriots. I mean, the Patriots at times were unwatchable last year, until Drake May showed flashes of what he was capable of being. McDaniel's coaching up Drake May, I think that feels dreamy. So I'm going to pick the Patriots to make the playoffs.
Mm.
All right. So he's got the Patriots going in at the seventh seed. So that's a look at the AFC side of the board. Now we gotta go to the NFC side of the board. And my division winner, well, I don't like this, and I'm sure you guys are not going to like this because we're talking about our division.
Mhm.
But I see a record of 15-2. I gotta go with my division winner as the Philadelphia Eagles. I can see them finishing, or maybe not 15-2. I'm gonna say maybe 13-3. No, 13-4. 13 or 14 wins. I think 15 would be kind of out there a little bit, but I still got the Eagles as my division winner and number one seed in the playoffs for the NFC.
Mhm. Yep, I have the same exact thing. I also have the Eagles, and they're going to take the number one seed as well. And I don't think any team's not even going to. Nobody's really going to challenge them at all. This is going to be a runaway.
Yeah, give me Philly too. And I think this, and I feel like there's more depth on the defensive line than there was last year. I mean, like the star power of Milton Williams and Josh Sweat aren't there because they would not have left anyway. But when you factor in Jalen Carter, who is I think the most underrated defensive interior man in the NFL. Zach Bond coming back, he was unbelievable. There's if there was one point of weakness, I think for the Eagles, I think it's the center position with Cam Jurgens, but I think this Eagles team is superb, and I mentioned to you after the Super Bowl that this Eagles team reminds me a little bit of the '90s Cowboys on how they were constructed. So. I'm going with the Eagles to win the division.
All right, yeah, so I guess we're in agreement on that. Heading down to the NFC South. Uh, I say this one is probably going to be just not probably almost the same as last year. I mean, even though my choice is going to be the same here, I got finishing with a record of 12-5. I've got Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the South again.
Yeah, this one was a pretty easy one to decide. Yeah, I mean the Saints forget about it. I think they're going to finish with the worst record in the NFC. Yeah, the battle for second place between the Falcons and Panthers was too close to call. So that leaves the Bucks as your winners.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm going with Tampa as well. I think I think you look at Baker Mayfield as a tremendous quarterback, and I really like what they did in the offseason, especially with the receiver position, and their offense is going to be superb this year. And whoever the play caller is for Baker doesn't matter. Is his eighth offensive coordinator in as many seasons. That doesn't matter to me. I think Tampa is going to roll with in the NFC South.
all right. So we're all unanimous on Tampa Bay winning the South. Let's go to the North. Well, I've got this team finishing with a record of 12-5. And I got this team as the number 2 seed and a tiebreaker, winning the tiebreaker with Tampa Bay because I got Tampa Bay finishing 12-5. But my number 2 seed and the winner of the NFC North Division, I got the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
Ooh, you got the Packers winning the North. All right, what do you got, Natalie?
Yeah, this one was kind of interesting. I was kind of playing around with this a little bit. The Bears look like an intriguing surprise. The Packers look kind of interesting. The Vikings I'm worried about this season with the suspension of Jordan Addison and JJ McCarthy getting his first official taste of the NFL. And I see the Vikings kind of having a slight down year. As much as I wanted to put the Vikings up at the top, or maybe even the Packers, or even the Bears for that matter, I'm still going to put the Lions in there. I think they're still the better team, but I mean the Bears and the Packers are kind of surging a bit, and the Vikings will get better once McCarthy gets a good taste of the action. But for right now, I'm giving it to the Lions.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Natalie. I mean, I do think the Lions are going to take a step back this year because they lost two coordinators to head coaching jobs. But I still think if I learned anything from the Super Bowl, I think it's that the roster matters a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I think having Aiden Hutchinson back, I think is a gigantic deal for
Mm-hmm.
for for this team. So I'm going to roll with the Lions. I don't there's I am a little concerned about the center position because Frank Ragnow retired suddenly, but I still think the roster as a whole is still really good. So I'm going to take the Lions to win the division.
Ah,
Hmm.
yeah, this is our first split for division wise.
Uh, got 2 for the Lions, 1 for the Packers.
Yeah,
We'll see
but
what
now onto
happens
the
there.
this is the toughest division I think in my opinion. The NFC West was the toughest to predict.
Yeah, slightly a little bit here. We know the problems with the 49ers and all their injuries, and of course the suspension of Demarcus Robinson. Cuckoo, cuckoo, Demarcus Robinson. Well, anyway, I actually have finishing with a record of 11-5 and my number 4 seed in the NFC playoffs. 11-5. I'm going to go with the LA Rams.
Mm. Yeah, this one was really tough for me. Like, I can honestly see any of these teams winning the division, really. I mean, if the 49ers have healthy players, they have a legitimate shot. The Cardinals look really good. I mean, with Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, he's due for a. I think he'll do a lot better in year 2. Yeah. James Conner had a very solid season. Yeah, all three of these teams look actually fairly okay, but I think the team that's going to win this division probably by a single game. I also have the Rams.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how much I love the Rams to win the division. I think if you look at the roster, I think this is the best roster the Rams have had in about 5 years. As because I love the pickup of Adams. I love what they did in the draft, both for this year and next year. Because remember they netted Atlanta's first round pick next year to trade out of the first round. The defensive line I think is going to be superb. I think they're gonna, and I think Stafford. I'm willing to overlook some of the shoulder issues with Stafford, but I think he's going to play. He's going to rock and roll, and I think the Rams are going to win the division.
All right, so that's our division winners right there. So now let's go into the wild cards. My number one wild card, the fifth seed, my number five seed will be the Washington Commanders. I'm really, really liking how this team is going, especially with the great season they had last year. I've got Washington as my number five seed.
Hmm. All right. Yeah. Yeah. My first wild card is going to be an interesting one. This team did not make the playoffs last season, but because of how stacked this division is and how close it can be, I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals as my number 5 seed.
Mm, kinky.
You
So,
love
Flynn,
me.
what say you?
I mean, I love the Chicago Bears this year. Cause I think the upgrades that they've had in coaching, the offensive line, I think the attitude and the culture. That I think it's all there for Caleb Williams to take a step up in production last year. I don't think he's going to have the 68 sacks or a sub 50 QBR like he did last year. I think the Bears are going to win 10 games and make the playoffs as the first wild card. The roster is excellent.
Hmm, interesting. So, let's go with the number two wild card team, which would be the number six seed. My number six seed is coming out of the NFC North. My number six seed is the Detroit Lions. They'll take a slight step back, like one of you guys said. I can't remember who it was, but take a
Like me.
slight step back, but it ain't going to be that too big of a big step back. I see them finishing with a record of 11-6. So I got the Detroit Lions as my number six seed.
All right. Let's see. I mean, my wild card two is kind of an interesting choice here. It's actually a team that Flynn just said, but we just put them in different spots. I have the Chicago Bears as my wild card two in the number 6 spot. Yeah, like Flynn
Hmm.
said, they had a very good offseason, and yeah, they look a lot better on paper. Romo Tuesday, I think, is going to do really well in year two. And then, yeah, DJ Moore, he's still going to have another phenomenal year. Caleb Williams, he's going to do great once again. And yeah, their defense actually is pretty decent. So
I'll
yeah,
be
give
keeping
me
Yeah,
my
I mean,
Chicago.
I'll be keeping my eye on my man Matthew Golden from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Flynn.
The reason why I didn't have the Bears I don't have the winning the division because I think they are getting going to get off to a slow start because remember it's so Caleb having to be acclimated to a new offense and there have been some growing pains, so I think that's why I'm not. I mean that's why I'm not entirely sold on them as division champs, but yeah, I do hear your point though about the Chicago Bears. Now, my second wild card is a team that is so similar to how the Tally mentioned the Bears. Mine is in a different spot from the Tallies. I also have the Arizona Cardinals making the playoffs. I mean,
Wow.
I think I love Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I think he's going to be a top 10 receiver in the league this year. I love what they did on defense. I think the Will Johnson pick out of Michigan, I think he's going to be one of the most impactful defensive rookies this season in the NFL. And I think you also have a lot of explosive playmaking ability with the Cardinals. So I think the Cardinals, so with Jonathan Gannon, are going to go to the playoffs this
Hmm.
year.
All right. Interesting choices there. And now for the third and final wild card, the number seven seed. And for me, I say both of these teams will finish with a record of 10-7, so they're going to have to go to a tiebreaker on this one. And based on the tiebreaker, my number seven seed, I've got the San Francisco 49ers just edging out the Chicago Bears. I mean, the Bears are going to have a great season, but I see 49ers having a very good team to try to get into that spot. They'll get the number 7 seed, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think I see them making it past the first round, if I'm not mistaken here. So, yeah, my number 7 seed is the 49ers.
Yeah, this one was really tough for me. There were some teams I was playing with. Like I was playing with the Seahawks. I was playing with the 49ers. Obviously couldn't pick the 49ers because I put them in last place actually. I was considering the Falcons. I mean, I was considering the Vikings, but I couldn't pick the Vikings either because I put them in last place. So that means there's only a couple of other guys left here. My number 7 seed is going to be representing the NFC North. So we have 3 teams from this division making the playoffs. I have the Green Bay Packers as the number 7 seed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll talk about my exclusions after I reveal my last playoff team. But I mean, so I just think how can you not overlook the roster with this team because all the talk with this team has been about the quarterback, and rightfully so because of the situation. But I've got the Minnesota Vikings making the playoffs this year. I think Kevin O'Connell is superb. I think the offensive line is excellent. I think the pickup of Jordan Mason is going to be more impactful on team success than people think. And also, remember, Brian Flores is coaching up this defense, and the Vikings were superb defensively last year. I said changing the script so many times, making big plays, being aggressive, get into the quarterback. A difficult defense to game plan for. So I think JJ McCarthy is a Kevin O'Connell type of guy. I trust O'Connell to coach him up and get the Vikings back to the playoffs. And some of the tough exclusions. Obviously, Washington. I think they're going to take a step back. I think a tough one was San Francisco. Seattle is a tough one. Carolina is actually one that it was tough because I do think Carolina is going to improve this year. Because I think having Ted McMillan as an actual number 1 wide receiver makes a huge impact. I think for that offense. But I think the Vikings are going to make the playoffs because they have a pretty well constructed roster, and I think it's going to lead them to the playoffs.
Wow, interesting there. So,
Oh, one thing I just noticed is you two are polar opposites on the Packers. Tim has them winning the division. Flynn has them in last place.
I mean I'm not a believer in Jordan Love at all. I'm just not.
Oh.
And Packers fans are going crazy as like hey we almost beat the Eagles, we're still good, but all Jordan Love had to be was competent, it's somewhat not horrible, and they beat the Eagles, but no, that did not happen. He was bad in that game.
all right. So basically, that's a look at our picks for the preseason playoff teams. Going back down to the list that Flynn provided us. These are what we'll probably see getting the awards at the NFL honors at the end of the season. Here, we're starting with NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
And before we start, because these are the 8 awards that 50 writers for the Associated Press vote on after the end of the season. So it's a panel of 50 writers analysts, so that they go through everything and they submit their votes to AP within a few days after the season ends. And there are eight specific awards from AP. So they also are the ones that vote for the All Pro teams too. So I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. But go on.
Very, very good disclaimer indeed. So, my pick for offensive rookie of the year. I was torn between two guys, but in the end, my pick for offensive rookie of the year will be Ashton Jeanty, the running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. I could probably see him getting at least 900 yards this year. 1,000, maybe, but maybe at least 900, maybe, or 800, somewhere in that area. I think he could produce some pretty good numbers, help the rushing game over in Sin City. So I've got Ashton Jeanty as my offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him as well. I was tempted to say Travis Hunter, but he's playing two positions, so it's kind of hard to say where to put him. So yeah, I'm agreeing with him on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the O line with the Raiders because that could be a hindrance. But I circle back to the conversations we've had about the star predictor system, the one I used to discuss Jackson Dart's potential. Because the analytics system that I talked about that had Calvin Johnson ranked 100, and then Kyle Pitts 100 before the Falcons ruined him. Ashton Jeanty also scored 100, and I think what the Seahawks are going to do is that they're going to have a system in place to maximize him. So I'm going to go with Ashton Jeanty as my offensive rookie of the year. I'm on the same page with the two of you.
Well, alrighty then. Defensive rookie of the year. I kind of went out on a limb here, just a shot in the dark here. I'm probably going to go with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter being the playing the defensive back position right there. I would say he'll be my pick for defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. Like I was tempted to say him, but it's hard to say which position he's going to play more, so I had to leave him out. I'm going to be a bit of a homer here, but I'm going to go with Abdul Carter of the New York Giants.
That was my second choice. That was actually my second choice. Flynn, what say you?
When am I not going to be on the same page with at least one of you guys? I've got Abdul Carter as well. If you've been watching the tape during training camp preseason, it was beyond obvious Abdul Carter was the best defensive player in this year's draft. Maybe the best overall player in the draft this year. I think he's going to wreak havoc, and he's going to help a Giants team that's going to improve this season. I think he's going to have double-digit sacks. I think his PFF grades are going to be superb throughout the season. And I think Abdul Carter is on his way to being a special player in this league. I'm going to go with Abdul Carter of the New York Football Giants.
Alrighty then. And so now we go to NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He's shown to be pretty tough. I'm going with a quarterback, and I'm going with Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens.
Interesting.
Yeah, going to go with Action Jackson.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm looking for him to have another repeat performance. I think Joe Burrow's going to play a lot better this season, and I think he's going to connect with him a lot more. Yeah, I have the Bengals making the playoffs, so yeah, why not? I'm going to roll the dice with Jamar Chase again.
Picking from the number one overall spot in fantasy football has been a thorn on the side of people in recent years. Think of Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey being consensus number one overall draft picks each of the last 3 or 4 years.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's going to happen this year. I love Jamar Chase this year. I would be I think he's going to replicate what he put the season he put together last year. So even if you're in a non PPR league, I would still take Jamar Chase over anybody else in fantasy. If you're drafting first overall, so I love Jamar Chase. He's my offensive player of the year.
All right. Two for Chase, one for Jackson. Same division. Interesting there. Now we go to NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And this guy is just about as tough as his brother was. His brother was a monster on the gridiron, and this guy is too. He's going to help this defense squeak into the playoffs. My pick for Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about him, but he sounds a little too obvious. So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a different spectrum here. I'm gonna pick somebody from our division rivals, probably a player that none of us can stand, Zach Braun of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, I'm not going to frown on that.
Yeah, and it's once again, I'm on the same page with somebody here. I also have T.J. Watt being the defensive player of the year.
All righty then. How about that? So, two for Watt, one for Braun. Tell you that Braun is one tough son of a gun. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
yeah.
Okay, now.
And I remember mocking him in the first round of the 2020 draft, and he went in the third round. And I remember that. I knew he was gonna turn into a superstar with Fangio and Philly.
All right. Okay, now we come to our choice for comeback player of the year. And this guy has had some injury issues over the last couple of years, but I've got this I've got this really weird feeling that he's going to be able to play a full season and help his 49ers get into the playoffs. I'm going with Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you got in tally?
Yeah, this one was kind of hard. This one I didn't really think about this one too much, but he was injured last season. I'm going to go with a player from the same team. I'm going to take Brandon Ayuk.
Interesting.
Sheesh. Wow, you guys love the 49ers more than I do. I'm going to go J.J. McCarthy, quarterback Minnesota Vikings.
Ah, true. That's a good one.
J.J. McCarthy, even though he didn't play a single regular season game last year. But it'll be interesting to see how well he performs this year. So, okay, NFL Coach of the Year.
Mhm.
Now, these next two, coach and assistant coach,
An assistant coach is almost always a coordinator. I like an
right.
offensive or defensive coordinator. Just
Mhm.
to put that out there.
Yeah. Actually, I really looked into this for quite some time earlier today, and based on everything I've heard from you guys from the last few weeks, this team is going to definitely improve this year. My coach of the year, Mike Vrabel from the New England Patriots.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, my pick for coach of the year, I think this team didn't make the playoffs this past season. I think they will this season, which puts him as a very good candidate. I'm going with Cliff Kingsbury of the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Look up who the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals is.
Wait, it's not him?
Nope,
Look it
I
up.
think he was gone. He was gone a long time ago.
Wait a minute. What the heck was it? I must have remembered wrong.
Yeah, you're thinking a little too far back. Let me look that up here.
I mean, I know who it is, so
Yeah, okay.
it's
I don't
it's
think I'm familiar with this guy here.
yeah. Jonathan Gannon was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles in 2022, and then he became the coach of the Cardinals starting in 23. So
So Jonathan Gannon.
yeah, which is kind of unfortunate circumstance, and I the tally.
Yep. Go ahead.
You know what you know
Yep.
what's coming.
I know.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. Somehow I forgot he was gone.
Okay, well, all right. So Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
Okay. We got assistant coach of the year.
also, I didn't reveal my choice for coach of the year yet.
Oh. Go ahead. Go ahead.
As Vrabel and Gannon were number 2 and number 3 on my list, but I'm gonna go with Ben Johnson of the Chicago Bears.
Mm.
Now, interesting choice. Interesting choice. Bringing the Bears back a little bit. I could probably see that. So, all right. So we move on now to assistant coach of the year, and I'm going to say Josh McDaniels of the Patriots. I mean, I can see this combination of Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, working together to get this team back to prominence. Maybe give them about year or 2 years over time, and I think this team will be pretty good again. So my assistant coach of the year of choice is Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't look up the names, but I have whoever the Bears assistant coach is. I'm gonna go with that guy
So the defensive coordinator for the
for,
Bears,
for the
or
Bears.
see,
Let's go with the offensive guy.
I mean, it wouldn't be the offensive guy with Bears because Ben Johnson be doing
Yeah.
on as well. But so yeah, but I'll tell you the defensive coordinator for the Bears, by the way, in case you forgot, is Dennis Allen.
Yeah. I'll take him.
Yeah, that's a good choice. But I'm gonna go with Vic Fangio of the Philadelphia Eagles here because the
Mm-hmm.
thing about the Eagles, so their projected starting defense, all 11 starters are projected to be under the age of 30.
Wow, kind of a
So
youth
so so,
movement
so,
up
so
there.
I mean I mean the people call the draft the Howard motivational.
All right. Okay, and the last one here is league MVP. After intense deliberations on this, he came in second last year. I got him finishing first this year. Lamar Jackson.
Mm. Yeah. It's probably gonna be the too safe, very safe pick, but he seems like he wins a lot. He'll probably win again. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Lamar Jackson as well, because there is a very strong argument he said that he could have won MVP last year because of how amazing statistically that he was last season, especially with completing the forward pass. He was superb at that, but the Ravens are the team. The Ravens are going to be the 1 seed in the AFC in my book. So give me Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to get those 2 critical home playoff games, and give them the inside track to ending the Chiefs' stretch of 3 years in a row repeating as the AFC champions.
All righty, Jim. So we'll see what happens, who wins those awards at the upcoming NFL honors at the end of the season. Now, our next few categories here has to do with fantasy football because this is a fantasy football type show. So the first one here is our fantasy MVP. Probably get a lot of points this year. And once again, I'm going out on a stretch here, and I'm going to say Lamar Jackson of the Ravens.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, mine's going to be a bit unconventional here, but I'm going to say Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh.
Oh, now that's a sexy choice right there.
Yeah.
I, I
I
can.
mean, yeah.
I
I'm
think
gonna
he's
go.
going to finish towards the top of the list for receiving yards by a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I understand your rationale, but I think because again, one of the lessons I learned from fantasy last year is that running back depth matters, and you want to make sure you have a bell cow at running back. So I'm gonna go with the running back who should go for the first running back who should go in all fantasy drafts starting this week, and that'll be Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons.
Hmm.
Oh, my man Bijan from Texas. Sounds very, very, very. Now that's another sexy pick right there as well. Okay, now our next category is fantasy LVP, least valuable player in fantasy. And I thought about this one. We were talking about our breakouts, our duds, and our sleepers a couple of weeks ago. So I really thought about this one here, and my pick for the LVP in fantasy this year will be Austin Eckler.
Interesting.
Kind of got up there. He's got a competition with. He's got Najee Harris. Of course, he's got injured miss, but there is a young rookie that's looking over their that they should be looking over their shoulder. A young rookie by the name of Omarion Hampton.
Ah,
So, I say,
you
you
got the wrong
realize
team.
yeah, you realize Eckler no longer plays for the Chargers, right?
oh wait, I can't remember who he plays for. Oh,
The
wait a minute.
Commanders.
I got it written down right here.
Uh,
I was looking at the wrong damn thing. I
oh
was looking at the
wow.
wrong damn thing. So he plays for the Commanders, but still, he's kind of getting up there and kind of slowly going downward as far as his stats is concerned.
Yeah.
So I've got Eckler from the Commanders as my
Mhm.
least valuable player in fantasy.
Yeah, mine is going to be Najee Harris of the Chargers. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He he screwed himself up by messing around, hurting his eye. He just basically he just basically screwed up his vision. I mean, if he gets carries, he's going to do a lot worse. He's opening the door for Marion Hampton, who's the clear RB1 right now. So yeah,
Right.
Najee Harris for that reason alone. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
There you
Yeah,
go.
my fantasy LVP is Kyron Williams of the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, because I think because I think among all the bust picks that I revealed, I think he's going to be the biggest bust. I don't see him being a top 12 running back this year at all in fantasy. I think I think it's going to be a more pass heavy offense this year with the Rams, and I think he's going to take a step back this year. I thought it was a year premature last year, so when thinking Kyron Williams was going to be a bust, but I feel better this year with knowing having a better feel of the situation. So I'm going to go with Kyron Williams as my LVP.
Hmm.
Which sucks because he's a Notre Dame guy and I'm a Notre Dame fan, but that's the reality
Yeah.
of the situation.
Mm-hmm. So now the next category is best fantasy rookie. Um, and once again, I'm going to take Ashton Genty for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep, I definitely agree. He's the probably the safe pick there. He's going to be one of the first running backs off the board. He'll probably be like third or the fourth one picked. Yeah, he's definitely going to have a very, very good year with an improvement in that Raiders team. Raiders are improving a bit, so I think he's a very good choice here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Genty too. For best fantasy rookie. Saying same things we said about offensive rookie of the year. I think it also carries over here as well.
Mhm.
All right. Biggest draft steal.
Mm.
Now, I'm not sure exactly how to think of that. I just put a name out there, and the name I put out there for my pick, probably Omari and Hampton.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tyler Warren as my biggest steal because yeah, look what happened when I drafted Brock Bowers in round I think 12 or 13. He ended up being the best tight end in the league. I mean, if Tyler Warren can do what Brock Bowers did in his first season, he could very well be a top 3 tight end going back into the following season.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs of the New England Patriots. I mean, for now we'll have to see what if the Patriots make an upgraded receiver, and we mentioned in the hot topics that Jacoby Myers makes a lot of sense for the New England Patriots should the Raiders choose to trade him. But I think he's going to get a lot of targets from Drake May. It's Stephon Diggs better than everyone else in the wide receiver room for New England. I think he's going to have a monster season. I think he's going to have at least 1,000 yards receiving this year, and he's going in the mid 40s among receivers in the draft this year. So I'm all in on Stephon Diggs. That's the biggest fantasy steal.
All right. Next we have our choice for the most improved player in fantasy. Um, and I'm going to throw this name out, even though I already named my comeback player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. He'll do pretty good, but I believe my most improved player choice will be Aaron Rodgers.
Interesting one. I think I'm going to take. Let me see. I'm going to go with Bucky Irving of the Buccaneers. Yeah, I mean, ever since he took over as the lead back, he's been doing pretty well. I mean, I would also maybe consider Chase Brown into the mix too, but I'm going to go with Bucky Irving.
This is the first time I'm mentioning a 49er in my predictions. I'm gonna go with Ricky Pearsall because I think he's like the only one that hasn't had any injury drama or anything like that this season. So and I think Ricky Pearsall is going to be the number 2 target for the 49ers offense behind George Kittle and McCaffrey. So I think he's gonna have a big season with all the uncertainty surrounding the rest of the receivers for the 49ers.
Hmm.
All right. We have another question, fantasy related question here. From Duke of Entertainment. He says, guys, can I get a trade review? I traded Joe Burrow for Jared Goff, Javante Williams, and Jordan Addison. What do y'all think?
Ew, gross. I think that's gross. Should have definitely kept Joe Burrow. He's clearly the better quarterback there. You're not going to have Jordan Addison for a few weeks. Yeah, Javante Williams. No, not really. I think you got fleeced here.
Yeah. And Javante Williams, I think it's not a guarantee he's going to last the whole year as a starter for Dallas, but in the backfield.
Yeah, because right now their backfield is going to be Javante Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue. Since for some reason they decided to let go of Deuce Vaughn, who I thought was going to be a big young star in Dallas as far as the running backs are concerned. Uh, Dukem, I hate to do this to you, bro.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Sorry, buddy, but like Natalie said, I think you got fleeced. Sorry, but that's just the way things go sometimes. But hopefully you can make up for it down the line if there's some trades coming up in the season, So, but anyway, thanks for that question. And let me say, did great. Well, you're welcome. I mean, we try our best to help out our fellow fantasy football players out there. So that's basically what we do. That's what we're here for. Remember, we are here for you.
Yes, sir.
So back to our list here that we have here. Our next was the biggest bold fantasy prediction. Now, this really had my hip brain going pretty much all day today. I just had to think of something kind of outrageous, but could be believable. So basically, and I don't have this written down, but I just thought of this maybe about an hour before we came on the air. My biggest bold prediction, and y'all can call me crazy, but I say Dak Prescott will finish in the top 10 in fantasy points for quarterbacks.
Let's see. All right, let me see if I could think of a crazy one here. All right, I got one considering his injury problems. I'm going to go with Nick Chubb will finish in the top 10 for rushing yards by a running back.
Ooh, that is a big one. So,
That is
the
huge. That is huge considering his injury history. That's
yeah.
huge.
All right. So my prediction kind of feels like a homer, but I believe that at some point during the season, Jackson Dart is going to take over as the starting quarterback, and in the fantasy playoffs, week 15 to 17, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in that span.
Hmm.
Oh.
So, because 2 of the 3 matchups the Giants have are favorable matchups: the Washington and the Raiders, week 15 and 17. They have a tough one against the Minnesota week 16, but I think against Washington and against the Raiders, I think that those are prime opportunities for him to show off and solidify his place as the QB1 for the Giants going into this offseason.
Boy, pretty bold predictions. You people out there, mark them down. Mark them down so you can remind us when we get to the postseason here. Okay, we got 3 more to go here. First, our pick, the AFC Championship game, which 2 teams are going to play and which one is going to come out alive.
Hmm.
Going into this, I examined everything, went through all the possible matchups in the playoffs. But in the AFC Championship game, and y'all gonna be shocked about this, I've got the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not shocked by that at all because I have actually the same exact prediction as you: the AFC Ravens and Bills.
Because
Hmm.
because I actually have the Broncos upsetting the Chiefs in the wild card round.
Ooh.
But I have the Buffalo Bills defeating the Broncos in the divisional round.
Ah.
And so my winner, I guess I can go ahead and say my winner. My winner, AFC champions, will be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Yeah. Two minds think alike. I have the Bills also. going to the
Oh
Super Bowl.
goodness. Oh goodness.
Lamar Lamar Jackson is gonna go to the Super Bowl this year, baby. I love the Ravens going to the Super Bowl this year. I think this is finally the year Lamar Jackson breaks through pierces the playoff wall.
Wow.
This is going to be an outstanding season for the Ravens. I think they set the tone early by going to Buffalo and beating the Bills to get that Week 1 win and get the tiebreaker, and that which forces the AFC Championship game in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. So where John Harbaugh will outcoach Sean McDermott and get his Ravens team to the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh wow! So we all have the same matchup. Just Flynn pick the other guy.
Mm.
Interesting there. Okay. NFC Championship game. Went through everything, every possibility. The biggest thing for this team, they will beat the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card round. Then I have them upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round. And in the conference championship, I have Green Bay beating San Francisco in the wild card round, and I have Green Bay beating Tampa Bay in a divisional round Bay of Pigs. And then I have Washington and Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. And probably by a last second touchdown, or maybe within the last 2 minutes, I've got the Washington Commanders taking care of the Packers and heading to Levi Stadium to face the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills.
Commanders and Bills. Interesting.
Mm. Mm.
Wow, you have the Commanders going to the Super Bowl, and Flynn and I
Wow.
took them out completely. Flynn
And
and I
not,
don't even have them
neither
making the playoffs.
neither one of us have the Commanders making the playoffs. So like if Washington goes to the Super Bowl, that would be something else.
Yeah. Alrighty, I guess. All right, fine. I might as well just do my breakdown first. All right, yeah, the NFC wild card. I had the. I have actually, this might be a surprise. I have the number 7 seeded Packers defeating the number 2 seeded Lions, and then I had the number 3 seeded Bucks defeating the 6 seeded Bears, and then let's see, and then I have the 5 seeded Cardinals beating the 4 seeded Rams, which puts my divisional matchups as the Eagles and the Packers, and the Bucks beating the Cardinals. So that means I have the Eagles and the Bucks facing each other in the NFC Championship, and in a surprising turn of events, I have the Bucks upsetting them and going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
It's Shades.
Remember my clue? I gave both teams start with the same letter. Bucks versus Bills. Battle of the
Bucks
Bees.
and Bills. Ah.
It's wow. So you're thinking shades of 2002 when the Bucks closed the vet in by knocking off the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. But
Mm-hmm.
but I think one of the things I took away from last year is that the roster matters a lot. Yeah, give me the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman built a juggernaut of a roster. Yeah, I think again, as I said all off season long, the Eagles remind me a bit of the '90s Cowboys. They're gonna knock off Stafford and the Rams in the NFC Championship game, and I have the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl. Meaning my matchup will be teams that they're going to be 3,000 miles away from their hometowns, but they're only about 100 miles apart. The Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ah. All right, I guess the moment of truth is finally here. Who
The Super
wins the
Bowl
Super
picks.
Bowl?
Who wins Super Bowl 60? Well, I I got this as a victory for the NFC East. I've got those Washington Commanders knocking off the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Wow.
That's great. That's unreal.
That's bold. Yeah, the
I
Commanders
really,
winning the
I
Super Bowl. That's
really, really,
crazy.
Wow.
really, I really loved what the Commanders did last year. And now that they got Terry McLaurin back on board with a raise in his contract, I say they go all the way. Call me crazy.
Oh. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right, I guess so. As you guys know, mine is the Bucks versus the Bills. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the team that I think is a little bit stronger right now. The team that I think has the better receivers, in my view. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as your Super Bowl 60 champions.
Mm,
So I'm also going the NFC route. Oh, but definitely
yeah.
not the Commanders, of course.
Well, well, well.
Yeah, but as you two went the NFC route, I am going with the AFC route. I think I think the Ravens would pose a much tougher matchup in the Super Bowl than the Chiefs posed last year. So I just think this is the team that I think that finally gets over the hump and brings home a third Lombardi Trophy to the city of Baltimore in the 21st century. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 60.
Ooh.
Wow. So that's really, really bold picks for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to have to rewatch this thing sometime later this week and write down everything that we have said here. Well, I'll just write down what y'all said because I got everything I said written down here. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we have another question from a viewer here. Looks like he already had his draft here. It's a
Yeah.
12 man half PPR. It's got CeeDee Lamb, Bucky Irving, Brock Bowers, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Calvin Ridley, Ricky Pearsall, Romo Dunze, Jordan Mason, Brock Purdy, Jaden Blue, uh, Rashad. Is that supposed to be
Rashad White, I think.
Rashad White? Okay. And Tajay Spears, Adam Thielen, Fairburn. That's probably his kicker. And the
Mm.
Vikings defense and special teams. He's got Rashad White as a handcuff to Bucky. And Ty J is stashed on IR. He has a two wide receiver, two running back, two flex league.
Mm.
So, examining this roster that he has.
I mean, I think the receivers are decent. I'm just a little bit worried about the running back room. Yeah, Kamara is not that same player he once was. Uh, he's a big risk, but I would say Kamara's high risk, high reward. I guess you can say. Yeah, Bucky Bowers and with the Brock Bowers. Yeah, Brock Bowers is perfect tight end there. You
Mhm.
can't get any better than that. Bucky Irving. I guess we'll see. I mean, I do like that one. Yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb is definitely your best receiver by far. Your wide receiver room is pretty good, but I'm just a little bit worried about the running backs. But other than that, pretty not bad.
Yeah, I think Kamara is gonna be better than people think. Yeah, I do think the lack of running back depth might bite you in the end. But I do understand the value here. But I think I think if you believe those are like your guys, your guys that you think are going to be big time. I mean, go for it.
That sounds good. So that's our
Oh,
opinion.
since, oh, since,
Thanks
since,
for.
since he's got Thielen, we got to play the Thielen song for him.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, of course I gotta do that. Of course we gotta do that. Looks like our friend here is hooked on a theater, if you know what I mean. There we go. And didn't one of the other viewers here had didn't one of the other viewers have Waddle on his team?
Hmm.
I I don't think so. But we do have another trivia. Not trivia. We have an actual question. If he goes Nico Collins and AJ Brown to start a 14-man PPR league, and you end up with Chuba Hubbard and Walker as my RBs, is that fine?
I'm fine with it. I see no problem with
Yeah,
it. And although Kenneth Walker has had his share of injury problems, if something happens to him, just get Zach Charbonnet as a handcuff, and I think you're just fine.
I just don't think he has. I just think him not having a 3 down back is kind of concerning, though.
Okay, well, Chuba Hubbard. Well, I'd say you're okay, Brian.
Yeah.
Nico Collins, AJ Brown. Of course, AJ Brown's a pretty good receiver there. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. So yeah, I'd say do it. So and I guess with that, we're going to put a bow on this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Don't forget, tomorrow night is the season premiere of the Pain and Game Pick'em Show with Alex, Lucas, and yours truly. You can find it on youtube.com/apizzle90. Uh, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central every Wednesday night during the season. We'll basically be doing the same thing that we were doing here tonight. We'll be making our season. Sorry. Make our season predictions. Who's going to finish where, what the playoffs are like, and who we think is going to go to the Super Bowl and win it. So I heard from these guys. I'll be interested to see what Alex and Lucas say for tomorrow night's show. Then, of course, Friday night, August 29th, this coming Friday, our season premiere with the Fantasy Draft Special. We go on the air at 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central, with the draft starting 15 minutes afterwards. So be sure you set your calendar to that.
Yeah,
And it's not.
it's the biggest show of the year of our podcast. So you definitely want to spread the word. It's going to be our draft is going to be live streamed. So every pick you will see is going to be made in real time. And you'll see how the drama unfolds.
Yes, it's one of those. I can't quite remember the character's name. It was a cartoon character from back in the 70s and 80s. He'd say something like, "We will be live and in color, in stereo, even."
Mhm.
So y'all don't forget about the draft tonight. And it won't be too long before our man Flynn here goes 2 shows a week for Hooked on Sports.
Yeah, I think this year I'll be leaning towards having episodes published Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So definitely gonna want to keep your eyes and ears open for that. Though I will need to record an episode for with stuff going on with breaking down some new stuff, and also college football week 1 is right upon us.
Oh yes. This coming Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we we got a huge one here. Number one, Texas going up against number three, the Ohio State University, but Ohio State is the favorite in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be Lee Corso's final college game day. It's
Oh yeah.
and at the place where he made his first headgear pick. So he's gonna make his last one coming up on Saturday, and it's actually gonna be kind of bittersweet if we're gonna be
Oh yeah.
honest here.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I've been in that thing for years and years and years, and he's going to decide to step down, and we wish him a great retirement. But it's going to be interesting. So
Yeah,
it's
and
a
then
very, very
yeah,
exciting time coming here.
yeah, yeah, and then we have two other top 10 matchups based on the AP rankings coming up this week on this weekend. Because Saturday night you got LSU and Clemson. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit are calling that game on Saturday, and then Sunday night, 6th-ranked Notre Dame against 10th-ranked Miami in Miami. The Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy crew is going to cover that game.
All right. So very exciting times coming to us here. So hey guys, thanks for all your fantasy questions. It's just so great to have you guys spread the word, like, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave comments in the comment section. Who do you think will be the award winners? Who do you think is going to make the playoffs here? Just let us know, and we will be back here in just 1, 2, 3 nights from
Yeah,
now. Just 3 nights from now. It'll
that's
be
right.
our last Friday show until sometime in the late part of the season. Our fantasy draft. It
Yeah.
is going to be a huge one. It is going to be a great show. It's going to be amazing. I just can't wait. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and sign off with this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It's been a great show. Always love hanging out with these guys.
Yep.
So, with that being said, on behalf of Mr. John Natale and Mr. John Flynn, my name is Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great week. Get ready for the season. We'll see you all back here this Friday night. Thanks for joining us.